Hey, it's about that time. Yes, thank you for joining our Let's Just Talk About It podcast. We are here to do just that, talk about it. This is the premier place to have a listening ear to some amazing topics and discussions, phenomenal guests that will push you to consider the power of change. Yup, what's change got to do with it? A whole lot, my people. Nothing is off the table. Y'all ready? Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Let's Just Talk About It, Instagram at Dr. K. Mischele Watson, and on Twitter, Dr. K. Mischele Watson. I absolutely know you're going to enjoy our time. So let's get straight into it. Welcome back to this episode of Let's Just Talk About It with Dr. K. Mischele Watson. That's me. And I am so glad that you have decided to join us tonight for this episode of Let's Just Talk About It. And tonight is going to be a great discussion around storytelling your change. How do you do that? How do you tell about your change? Last week we talked about a women's choice, right? And it was a phenomenal conversation and something that I'm extremely passionate about. And this topic of telling your story of change is just as exciting as we share some really great highlights of how to be blessed and changed as a result of your story, right? And so first I'd like to thank my amazing production team, Kratos Media, and my intro and outro instrumental music by none other than Dr. Ronnie Song. It is phenomenal, a longtime mentor of mine, and I'm so excited that he and Kratos Media have decided to be a part of this great project. So tonight, it's you and I. I love that. I love these very open and candid conversations. And, often I'm reminded as we kind of kick off with just these conversations between us that we'll also be joined by several amazing guests that will have great conversations around, creating change in your life for that will last a lifetime, right? That's so important for us. And there is something to love about being changed beyond the challenge. And so in this season, we have a lot to talk about. Whew. The list goes on and on. So I want you to stay tuned. I want you to stay connected. I want you to go to my YouTube page, my YouTube channel. Let's Just Talk About It with Dr. K. Mischele Watson. And make sure that we connect because I want to hear from you. So here we go. I often and ask the question about how do you tell your story of change? How do you do it? Where do you go? Where do you start? And I always, tell many of my clients that it starts at the beginning, wherever you like. And you are the author of this story. And so you have the power to add, delete, change, edit, anything that you want to do with this story. And change, if you didn't know it, is the new normal, right? It's no longer a rare thing in dealing with change, the more I think about it, right? Actually, it's becoming a very well-adapted skill set. So when you learn to change, you're really learning to adapt to what we all know as the constant cycle of change, because we said the only thing constant is change. And so when you're doing this well, it involves getting your story right, making sure you are acclimated to knowing and not being afraid to say, I was here and now I'm here. I was there and now I'm over here. And all of that is okay. It is such a welcome opportunity for you to really reflect, right? And for you to think about the things that you have experienced in your life and you to decide whether you like them or not, right? And for you to say, there are things I need to do differently. I want some different things. I want to make some better choices. I want to live my life a different way. And so change immediately becomes a part of how you can do that well. And I think, in telling my own personal story about change, it just really helped me to communicate much better about what I really wanted for my life and how important this new story was. Because oftentimes our stories are filled with lots of hurt and pain and rejection and selfishness, and the list can go on and on. And oftentimes we get to a place in our lives where we're just had enough. We don't want to live that kind of life anymore. We want to be moved by something else that gives us greater strength and encouragement and peace, right? And so when we're telling our story, we're telling that story from a new perspective. Well, everyone, that's all we got time for right now, but we'll keep the conversations moving and topics flowing. Join us for a new episode every Sunday at 8 p.m. for Let's Just Talk About It. Don't miss it, and don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. We'll always have a little something for you if you do. I'm your host, Dr. Mischele Watson, and I'll see you on our next episode. Be blessed.